From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, a medevac helicopter that landed at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital in the 5 p.m. hour yesterday was transporting soldiers.
That's according to public information officers at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage. They say there was apparently a mishap during a paratrooper training. They said some of the troops involved in the airborne operation were hurt during the jump at the Donnelly drop zone near Fort Greely. No details have been released yet on the nature of the accident. The Army is conducting an investigation.
In the jump, we had 18 paratroopers who were injured. 16 were medevaced via ground ambulance and 2 were air medevaced. Of the 18, 17 have been returned to duty. The last injured paratrooper is in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries there at Fairbanks Memorial.
A contracted weather observation station that was once saved from closing has been shut down by the FAA due to OSHA violations. Sequestration earlier this year had threatened the job of the contracted workers at the Gulkana station, replacing them with a computerized system called the Automated Surface Observing System, or ASOS. According to the memorandum sent by the FAA, the building that housed the workers had, quote, numerous OSHA violations, end quote. The workers were given 1 hour to vacate the premises as well as their positions. One weather observer in Gulkana says the replacement of current observers could cause numerous critical situations.
My flights fly in here all the time, and when we augment the weather, we are either keeping the pilots safe from landing when the conditions are bad, or allowing a pilot to land when the ASOS machine says the conditions are bad and they aren't. Alaska has pilots like, the lower 48 uses cars, and if the FAA continues to pull the weather observers from the different stations, then pilots all across the state are going to be affected.
Earlier this year, when the contracted weather observers' jobs were in jeopardy, Senator Lisa Murkowski, along with other legislators, stepped in, urging Congress to leave the observers in place. Now, with their jobs lost, only members of Congress can reinstate them.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly is looking at a proposed $56 million bond from the Fairbanks North Star Borough School Board. The school district discussed a $20,000 plan to promote voter awareness and a limited amount of time for the upcoming bond measure. $12,000 would go toward the creation of a survey to judge voter opinion on the bond measure, and $8,000 would go to the creation of informational pamphlets. The two school bond measures have not yet been officially approved by the borough, and no political action group has stepped forward to campaign for the bonds. The school board plans to vote on the information campaign at its regular session on Tuesday.
For property that's valued at $200,000 would be about $40 a year, and that would be the impact should both of the ballot questions pass.
Not guilty pleas for a 22-year-old Fairbanks man accused of videotaping an 11-year-old girl as she undressed and showered in late May. Andrew Bunton was arrested on July 26th after a grand jury indicted him in the case. He's charged with 2 counts of indecent viewing and photography, a Class C felony offense that carries a maximum 5 years in jail on each charge. In an Alaska State Trooper news release, authorities on May 23rd received a report of harm from the Alaska Office of Children's Services. They say Bunton used an iPod Touch to record the girl on May 21st. The girl discovered the video the next day while playing with Bunton's iPod. Bunton is being held without bail at Fairbanks Correctional Center. Trial in his case is set for the week of October 14th.
So, Daryl, it's been a scorcher out there.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be hot. Didn't know it was going to be this hot.
And even, you know what? If you've gone to the fair, it's been it feels even more hot there.
Well, with all the new pavement.
Right.
Course, yeah,
reflecting.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's check in with Mike. He has a lot more about that.
Mike.
Hey guys, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but once again, another beautiful day at the fair. Lots of sunshine. It is downright hot, but we got some wind out here now and some clouds moving in. It should be a great outdoor activities that are planned, and of course all the great food and everything. Today we're going to be talking later on with one of the people that works here at the fair. They're going to be talking about Buddy Day and also about Alaska Canned Food Day. We'll tell you more about that, and we'll be back with some more interesting things later on. But right now, back to you guys.
pretty truck there, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
I
nice
like
paint job.
All right, well, when we come back, Fort Wainwright is doing some training. That's our military report.
And we see some activities going on at Pioneer Park. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. Soldiers from Fort Wainwright began a field exercise early this week. We have more now about that in our military report. 152 Aviation Task Force this week is holding a field exercise. The field training is important for the soldiers' readiness.
This train-up is a build-up for a culminating event, which will be a qualifying event for that unit's readiness and what they can do and what they can deploy to and things like that.
After training, the skills the aviation unit has will be rated for deployment.
Now, once they train up on those, they'll go to a culminating event, and that event will, qualify them. They'll have to meet certain standards, and then they kind of go into a queue for a deployment. Or if they're already tapped for a deployment, they'll have to go through this culminating training event and meet certain gates, certain criteria to deploy.
Readiness is important to an Army unit of any kind. It helps the soldiers to be prepared for real scenarios downrange.
One of the steps is one of the major steps. You don't want to show up to the game without a proper warm-up or proper practice. So just like the athletic example I gave, you want to have a little bit of practice before you go into the event cold.
The military report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Rotary clubs worldwide have had a goal for years to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. Millions of dollars have been raised so that vaccines can be given to third world countries to stunt the spreading of polio. One individual who herself has polio and is recognized worldwide as an authority on the disease has traveled to more than 20 countries helping with immunizations. Ann Lee Hussey has made it her own personal goal to make the world free from polio. Tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. at the Carlson Center, she will be speaking to the public about what steps are being taken to complete this incredible task.
Polio Plus mission has been very successful to eradicate polio. Now there are only 3 endemic countries and polio has been eradicated in most of the world. But polio is a very, very viral virus, and without vaccination, polio can spring up again.
And it was just announced that the Gates Foundation will give matching donations of up to $35 million a year for the next 5 years to fight polio.
Pioneer Park is a place to take your family, and if you are wondering what activities are located inside of the park, we have more now in tonight's weekly segment. Hello and welcome back to another edition of What's Happening at Pioneer Park. Now there is a lot to do here inside the park, and especially activity-wise. Today we're going to take a look at some of the fun things you and your family can enjoy right here inside the park. One activity for you and your family to enjoy is located right here in the center of the park, and it's the mini golf attraction. Now located inside of the golfing area are 32 putting holes for you and your family to enjoy. They're open from Sunday to Sunday from 12 to 8, so come on down and check them out, and maybe you'll get a hole-in-one. Let's see. Another fun thing to do here inside the park is Rowella's Carousel. Now, fun fact about the carousel, it was brought here in the 1930s from Illinois and still running today. Now, the carousel is open 7 days a week for you and your family to enjoy, with over 20 little carousel rides for your kids to get on, hey, or even you. Now, another fun place to come inside of Pioneer Park, and one of my personal favorites, is Betsy's Photography, because where else can a girl come inside the park to dress up and get her picture taken? Here inside of the studio, you can get your photo taken, ladies as wenches or well-dressed back in earlier centuries. Now, men can also get their photos taken as outlaws with props, fun props, or even some cowboy photos. So come on down, get your picture taken, and hey, even try on a boa. There are so many things for you to enjoy here inside of the park, but before we go, we can't leave without giving you your weekly trivia question, and that could require you to come here. Now, what cabin number is Betsy's Photography? Come on down, find out the number, go to webcenter11.com and enter for your chance to win some really great prizes, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that looked enjoyable. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you don't know how many times it took for me to even get that ball through the windmill. Poor Drew. Speaking of Drew, him and Mike are out there at the fair.
Absolutely. Mike, what do you got for us?
With the hard-working folks here in the Tanana Valley fair staff. This is Justin Stoller. He's operations and concessions manager.
That's correct. Operations and concessions here at the Tanana. It's my 4th year here. Happy to be back.
Doing a good job this year, as always.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. The weather's been pretty cooperative with us. I
think we might see some.
For me, Mike, I'd really appreciate it because it's a scorcher.
We want to talk about a couple things to get some things straightened out. Tomorrow's Buddy Date. There's about
is a little bit here at any sourdough fuel location here. Good for anyone in your family. They're good from noon to 6. Okay. And what you're going to do is pick it up and bring it into the ticket at the Midway.
All right. And Alaska Canned Food Day.
It is, and that's one of the most popular days that we have here at the fairgrounds. It's a great way for the community to give back, kick back to people that are less fortunate. It's 4 cans of food and $3 for an adult, 4 cans of food and $2 for seniors and youth. But we everybody bring some extra cans if you have them at home. It's for a great cause, so we want everyone to bring as much as you can contribute to the great community we have here.
Yep. All right, you got the instructions. Make sure you do that. We'll be back with sports, and Joe Cook has got something special for you in a basketball game. We'll tell you about that after these words.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you, bringing you some Wednesday sports action. The Greater Fairbanks Racing Association will be gearing up for races this Friday. There are a few races left, and there's been some separation in the point standings after last week's races. There was a 35-lap main event in the sprint class. It was scheduled for 50 laps, but it was reduced because it was getting dark out, so it was pretty late. The GFRA has made a change to timing. Starting this Friday, races will be at 6:30. Therefore, the gates will open at 5:30. Now, the current GFRA point standing, Steve Spencer has a little breathing room over Jason Mayran and the Mini Bombers with a 44-point lead. Chris Stangden is ahead in dollar stock with 588 points. Ed Berger and Shane Neal are cruising in the B and street stock class. Both have triple-digit points leads. Scott Sluka led the modified class for much of the season, but recent wrecks and mechanical issues have opened the door for Zach Harpole, who now has a 28-point lead. And in the sprint class, Angel Sundberg, the rookie, is trying to hold on to the top spot with the 3-point lead over Jay Coghill. There are now 6-point races left. Okay, so you've seen me scream my head off at the fair on the slingshot ride. Well, today at the fair I took part in another challenge, wheelchair basketball and an obstacle course and the disability awareness events. Tomorrow at the fair you can experience what people with disabilities have to go through. The obstacle course had ramps, rough terrain, and narrow passages that people with wheelchairs have to deal with on a daily basis. You can even try to go through the obstacle course as a blind person as well. The wheelchair basketball was really fun. The Hoopers and I, we hit a couple baskets out there. All of this will be going on at Totem Square by the Blue Gate at the fair. These events are sponsored by Access Alaska and Wallbusters. I talked to the organizers who say it's all about access and getting out important information to the community.
This is the 82nd annual fair. This is the first time we've had pavement on the fairgrounds. So we've got people with limited mobility now being able to come to the fairgrounds and enjoy every aspect of it like all of the citizens in our community can.
We're trying to show people that people with disabilities can still do things that people without a disability do. We're just trying to get out information and make people aware there is life, full life, living with a disability.
Hi, my name is Maggie Matos, and I just want to encourage you all to come to the fair. And tomorrow's the last day for the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act special presentation. And so come tomorrow between 12 and 6 and see our special tables.
So my coworkers call me Twinkle Toes Joe from time to time. It's probably because of my skills, or lack thereof, but here's more footage of my partner and I, Amanda Donahue. We will be dancing this Friday, August 9th at the Tanana Valley State Fair. In Dancing with the Fairbanks Stars competition, we're getting better and feeling confident in our routine. I mean, we should. The show is Friday. Come out to support the Lathrop High School Dance Group. This is their fundraising event. Funds help the students receive training from world-class choreographers, professional costumes, and travel expenses. Their season is from September to March. This dance group gets about 25 kids per year from all of the Fairbanks high schools. And there will be 2 shows on Friday, one at 2:30 and the other at 7:30 at the big white tent at the yellow gate entrance on the left. Here's how you can help. Come out to the shows and vote for me and Amanda so we can win. It's just $1 a vote. Vote as many times as you like. You can also make out a check to the Lathrop High School Ballroom Dance Team and submit your donation for Joe and Amanda during the performances on Friday night. And it'll be something to see. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Your full weather forecast is coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you, by the way, to Graham Morrison for that shot. If you have a shot you'd like to share, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Okay, what are we looking at today? Our normal high is 69 degrees. We're way above that. Our normal low 49. Our high 83 degrees was set in 1968. Record low of 37 degrees set in 1969. Daylight, sunrise, sunset equals 17 hours, 19 minutes. That is a loss of 7 minutes over yesterday. Taking a look at the map there, you can still see that storm system affecting the southwest portions of Alaska, but now it's reaching into the Anchorage Bowl area, and you can see trail ends affecting the Panhandle as well. So that is going to continue over the overnight and hopefully clear out by tomorrow, but long-range satellite shows maybe more on the way. Taking a look at the rest of the state, as you can see in the interior, just scorching, gorgeous, but even on the west coast, Nome sitting at 70 degrees, and on the Panhandle, Juneau and Ketchikan both reaching 70s, which is rare for this time of year. Very nice otherwise. Let's take a look down the lower 48, see what we can find. As you can see, scorching heat continues for many of the southern states. Vegas checking in with triple-digit temperatures, as well as Dallas and Phoenix as well. It loosens up a little bit once you get north, and of course, this is the time for summer thunderstorm seasons, especially in the Midwest, and that's affecting Minneapolis, but also that storm system affecting parts of the Northeast as well. As you can see, as we put the satellite radar in motion, you can see that collectively there are scattered storm systems all over the continental United States. It just depends on where you are and the severity of it, so that does happen at this time of year. Taking a look for this weekend, it's going to be hot, dry, or dry in the southwest, hot and sticky in tropical conditions for the southeast portions of the states. So let's go back up to Alaska. That's what's really important. Starting up north, cloudy skies at Barrow, showers in Nome. Fort Yukon still seeing 80-degree temperatures, perfect, and that's almost the same for us here in the interior. Maybe not so much. We'll cool off just a bit. Sunny skies. There is smoke in the air, by the way, so if you're doing any kind of outdoor activities, be in mind of that. Let's take a look real quickly at the Panhandle, and you can see rain likely in Juneau, showers expected in Ketchikan. What's the difference between rain and showers? I don't think anything. Okay, taking a look at Southwest real quick. Bethel, Cold Bay, Kodiak still stuck in that system. Temperatures in the high 50s for them, but wet and kind of dreary. In the Anchorage Bowl, South Central, showers at Anchorage and Homer, rain in Valdez as well, and temperatures cooling dramatically off. They had temperatures in the upper 70s yesterday, now just the low 60s. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for the remainder of the night. 51 degrees, high clouds, some areas of smoke in the area, and that happens in the overnight because the barometric pressure falls a little bit, and so that's how it kind of gets stuck in the interior. Tomorrow, 79 degrees, not as warm, but scattered clouds as well. Still nothing big on the horizon as far as rainfall is concerned. And then our 5-day forecast, temperatures will drop comfortably into the 70s, but overnight lows maintaining in the low 50s, which turns out to be perfect fair-going weather.
Asked for better for the fair this year. There was a little drizzle here and there, but
yeah,
I mean, nothing major, so it's been really nice.
Yeah, it's been really hot. I mean, I was out there and they said it's kind of unusual even for it to be so hot in August. So
right.
We were out there in our sumo costumes. I mean, it was really hot in those, that's for sure.
That was
All right, guys, thanks. And that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the president cancels a meeting with Russia's president over the Edward Snowden affair. That's next with Lester Holt.
And you can be sure and check us out online at webcenter11.com, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else.
Okay, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.